gon' chop it up like sushi. Break it on down like a hoopty. In translation, bridge the gap. Communication so real, no cap. A different language for woman and man. Decode the language and you'll understand. Nah, it'll help you out. Rest assured, women have no doubt. Pillow talk, dinner talk. Give you the info to walk the walk. Now, sometimes it's a foreign language. Now know what's up, don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation. Empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
Hey, what's going on, YouTube and Facebook family, Instagram, and all of the social media out there and the internet, www world. I'm Scott C. Welcome to Man Translation, and this is Dante V, our resident relationship and communication specialist, strategist, all of the above. We are in crisis mode. Crisis mode. All the crazy stuff that's really going on in the world. But you know what? It's like the more they do stuff, in a weird way, the more stuff falls apart in the world, the more people get serious about what it is they're really supposed to be doing.
That's kind of how it is. It can't be too broken up. Somebody got to keep something together. So it's like, wow, all this is falling apart. Let me go and get myself together so I don't fall in this gap.
It is more people starting businesses, and more people making money. It is more people doing stuff that they've been wanting to do their whole lives and stuff. So, I think that you have to be aware of it, but I think that is also really affecting the mental. Now, we were doing, I think last month, May, was mental awareness for everybody. So today we're going to focus really just on the men. So Dante, you're going to have to answer some questions.
I'm with it.
Yeah. So let's do some housekeeping. Welcome to Man Translation, where we bridge the gap of communication between men and women. Bridge the gap, not men versus women.
No.
Bridge. No. Bring together. Okay, we need each other. Just because somebody communicates different from you, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that it's different. Okay, and we talk about all kind of stuff as far as communication, because communication runs really deep. We talk about communication on your job, in your personal life, in all aspects, in the whole spectrum. But today, I really have a heart for men. I really want to see men win, because I know that when men win, then everything else kind of falls in place and falls in order. So, Dante, number one question I want to ask, I just want to get right to it. Why don't men have to ask for help? Even if you're driving with your dude, you know you lost, bro. Why y'all don't like to ask for help?
One, men don't like being told what to do. Could be dead wrong, dead in it. Just we know we lost. We don't like feeling as though, one, we gotta be told what to do. Two, it's like self-defeat. I'm lost. I know I'm lost, but I don't want people to know I'm lost because I gotta look like I got everything together,
But and see, I think that people don't realize that kind of thinking is mentally off. Something's off balance, because that's not the way that. Go ahead. That's just not the way you think. When you're a leader, as a man, as an adult, period, you're a leader. And a leader never wants to lead anybody astray. So maybe men don't really understand that, like, by default, adults, you're a leader. And a smart leader is always going to ask for help. You're not going to be like, well, I need help, and I know I need help, but I don't want to look like I'm defeated. The fact that you're not asking for help is what's causing you to be defeated.
But the issue with that is this. One, it's not looked at like leading. I'm a man. I don't want to admit that I am wrong, I am lost, or I have to go to someone for guidance and or assistance because it's been kind of instilled in some of us that you're a man, figure it out. Not realizing that figure it out part requires you to ask for help, requires you
Requires
to ask
you
for
to
guidance.
ask for
It
help.
requires those things, but it's that part's not taught. When you're being told to figure it out, because I came to you as a child, as someone who needs assistance, and you say, "Go figure it out."
Well, first of
It's
all, let me bring some clarity to that. If
okay.
your
Okay, there you
parent,
go.
if your parent, your supervisor, if somebody goes to you and you ask them for help and they tell you to figure it out, it's because they've already given you the information. It's
I
because
will say
they've
that.
already taught to you whatever it is that you're asking. So they're
Mhm.
trying to get you to apply. Okay, knowledge, wisdom is knowledge applied. They're trying to get you to apply what I've already taught you. And they're also trying to teach you how to be independent. See, a lot of times we want people to depend on us, especially women. Women feel needed if their children or their man or whatever depends on them. No, you're making them handicapped. You're crippling them.
Enabling. Yep.
You're enabling. So if your parent, supervisor, whoever says figure it out, that means you already have the answer. Or if you go pray, those of you that pray, if you go pray and you feel like God is not answering you, He's already given you the answer. You already have the answer. It's just quicker to go run and ask somebody than for you to just figure it out yourself. And
Right.
so, as an adult, as a man, we're specifically talking about men, like we need you in your right mind.
That's difficult to address because it's almost like the alcoholic who knows that they're alcoholic but won't admit to the fact that they're alcoholic. And it's like, hey, you need help. And it's like, no, I don't. I got this under control. It's like you have it under control until you don't.
But it's like, I was watching the Bobby Brown series. He has like two series. One where he's talking about, it's really good too. He has one where he has like the reality show called Every Little Step. And then I think
Mhm.
he has a three part something where he talks about, he goes kind of over his life. He kind of fills in some of the things that we didn't know because people are like, oh, we already heard it all. I learned some things about him that I didn't know before. But I think the thing that's causing him to want to be better and do better, because his wife said, we need you here, because he's had two heart attacks and his son came over to exercise with him, and all of that. Like his family is letting him know that like we need you. So like if men don't know, so let me be the first to tell you, like we need you. Like we need you healthy. We need you in your right mind. Okay? There's nothing wrong with needing, because we need the leadership. Our community lacks strong male leadership. You can't lead anybody if you're not thinking properly.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be in the car going the wrong way. I'm gonna pull over with the straight quickness and ask for help.
Yeah, gas prices too high for anybody to be lost right now. No, if you don't turn that damn GPS on, grab a map, something. Yeah, we not doing that. You
Yeah,
supposed to be
so
there. You supposed to be there at 9. It's 9:30. You still try. I think if I turn here, no, sir.
and I
Directions.
think, I think that women enable men in the wrong way. I think that women enable men in the wrong way.
Because they have the idea of submissive incorrect.
Right,
Sitting back, not saying anything, and allowing him to lead you in the wrong direction
right.
is not submissiveness. I'm not going to downplay it, but that's not it. You by you being silent, of course, yes, you are in agreement with it, but also do not be afraid to, hey, listen, here's what we're supposed to be doing. Here's the direction we're supposed to be going in. We done passed this sign 47 times. We're not gonna pass this 48th. We got stuff to do.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna just let him. I'm gonna let the man be the man. I got a problem with that.
And if he don't really know, if he hasn't been taught how to be a man, he's not going to, he's not really going to step up to the plate as far as that's concerned. As a woman, I always say, I've been saying this for years, you can always tell what kind of woman a man has. You can look at that man and tell what kind of woman he has. And I'm going to use Bobby Brown as a teachable moment. Now, look how he was when he was with Whitney, and look how he was with his wife now. He's two totally different people. Two totally different people. What makes the difference is the woman. The woman makes the difference. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're supposed to bring out the best of each other. So him and Whitney was more so, yeah, y'all was in love and all of that, but y'all weren't good for each other. Y'all both had the same weaknesses.
Right.
The wife that he has now, she don't look like she drinks, smoke, or nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to have somebody that is strong in the areas that it is that you're weak. You can't be in these toxic bonded relationships where both of y'all have the same weaknesses, have the same vices.
Yeah, that whole trauma bond relationship.
Trauma bond, and we're supposed to. I think that we should. We don't understand that to lift a man up does not mean that we're just stroking his ego. It just lets you. To me, it lets me know that. Well, from my experience, men are very sensitive. They're just really good at not showing how sensitive they are, but men need a lot of encouragement. They need a lot of encouragement. Men deal with a lot of pressure. Deal with a lot of pressure. They have to make all the decisions. The decisions for the family has to be the right decisions. They have to always be going in the right direction. They got to make sure all the bills and stuff is paid. And then they got to go to work and deal with whatever they're dealing with at work. And then they got to come home and be dealing with you and the children. It is a lot. And then if you are an African American man, you better pray that when he go out that door, he makes it back home. You gotta pray that your sons, when they leave out, that they make it back home. And so it's a lot that's coming up against your mental as a man, and it's a woman that is going to help to, you're the shoulders. You got to bear the burden, and the brunt. You should be praying for that man. You know what I'm saying? You should be in prayer. You should be praying and asking God to give you insight, to give you foresight, anything that's coming at him. Because see, y'all think being married and being in relationships and stuff is all about, having a comforting and having somebody with you. No, it's for you to come together with a vision. It's a type of warfare. You gotta be praying. It's a lot coming at that man, and you need to see stuff down the road before it ever even gets to him. Before he ever has to go to work and be, it's the worst thing in the world. I dealt with it for 10 years working at housing authority. Somebody always trying to run and lie and tell and get you fired from your job and all of that stuff, messing with your livelihood and things like that. So it's a lot. She said, I guess if a woman gives you the safety of being vulnerable, then he feels more secure to inquire when he's not sure of something. But if she knocks him for mistakes, then he'll feel the need to protect and defend himself, even if he's in the wrong. Well, we could just say that with a bullhorn. We could just go ahead and wrap the show up right here.
That is the absolute truth.
The whole
truth.
Truth.
Absolute truth. Cannot have said it better, which is why I've said before, you need to curate that space that he's actually able to come and talk to you about anything, any and everything. Because again, it is a skill to listen and not respond.
But you know what? I be watching some of these little shows and stuff, and I cringe. I feel bad for the men. I be feeling bad for the men. I do. The women, they just take the reins and just run. They don't give the man a space to even get in to be. And you're not thinking about what kind of effect is that having on his mental.
It's not because you're not thinking about it because it's more of a competition in some cases. It's like, if you're wrong, I need to make sure you're wrong and you listen to what I'm saying. Meanwhile, he's like, all right, well, I ain't gonna argue with you, but I'm also not going to come to you and talk to you about certain things either. So here's just one thing that we're not going to talk about anymore. Almost, again, I hate to bring this up, like the incident that we had when I was what, eighth grade, when I came to you and your response was like was completely left field in my opinion. And I'm like, yeah, we're not talking about this ever again. And then here we are, and we're like older. I'm older now, so it's like yeah, now I can come and talk to you about certain things. Never mind the fact that I was a child, but it took instances and years for me to come out of that. So it's still the
Yeah.
same, still the same thing.
Yeah, it is. And I think that we, as you know, for me, I think I learned more to be more like patient when it comes to some things of men when I became single, instead of in that position of headship, not being a man, but being in a position of headship, you're responsible for everything. You're responsible for the
Mhm.
household, the children. You're responsible for everything. And a lot of times that's why men don't want to get married because it's too much responsibility. They don't have the finances because they do want to protect and they do want to provide, those things. And a lot of times if they're not able to, they don't want to get married. Women are raised to want to get married,
Mhm.
but
Let,
men,
let you
they
get a
want to be
whole
in a
starter kit.
position, yeah, they want to be in a position financially to say, I can, do that. She said, I have trouble understanding the mentality of my son. If it wasn't for his father, I would be lost, to be honest. Girl, I was too. I was too. I was too. When my sons were younger, and I found myself as a single parent, like Dante said, I'm like, boy, go figure it out. Or I think he came to me and was asking about a girl. Child, we got
That's
enough.
exactly what it was.
We got enough problems. The last thing you need to be thinking about is a girl. You better go in there and read a book or something.
And here's how it went. I came to you and I asked you about a girl because in my mind, you're a woman. You know how you want to be talked to. I'm
You
in
better
eighth grade.
go read a book.
I
Ain't no time to be
and you
thinking about
said
no
that,
girls.
but I was on honor roll. I played football. Grades were good. I won in no trouble. And you was like,
And
no, but it's
continue.
still something that you can improve upon.
And continue. And continue.
I'm like,
And continue.
so in my mind, like, yeah, we ain't having this conversation no more.
And continue. You know what I mean? Because when you have a son, he is on honor roll. He is handsome and he got it going on. Here comes some little snotty nosed girl trying to mess up his destiny and get him all jammed up and everything. And at the time he was living in a predominantly Caucasian neighborhood. That was I was concerned about that enough. You know what I mean? Like, don't come over here talking to me about no. Don't come to me talking about no girls. Don't you got some homework or something to do?
Homework done.
Okay, go do extra credit then. I had trouble too. I had trouble understanding the mentality, and that's why we have this show because we're gonna do a mother son show because when you're communicating with him, especially when they're growing up, if you're like hollering at him and stuff like that, that's gonna make him not want to talk to you
Uh-huh.
ever. I'm telling you, if you be
Yeah.
like, if you snapping, if you might be frustrated, I mean, just regular everyday life, just being single, knowing you done taught him this on family night, we done prayed about it and everything, and you come on Thursday asking you the same thing we just talked about on Tuesday, boy, if you don't get away from here, that tone right there is going to send him all the way someplace else. And you don't
And
realize
that's
that you could be breaking
exactly
their
what
spirit
happened.
and everything. It is the most difficult, challenging thing to be a woman and raise a boy. You can't be his father. I
Man,
hate when I hear women say that. You cannot be his father. Because his father is going to talk to him from a man's perspective.
because it's relatable. All right, let me tell you. Because when I was in this position, here's what I did, and so that's what's going to work for you. Moms, moms to sons are different because again, like you said, when you see things that I'm a child. I ain't looking at that. I was what, 14, 15? I don't, what? No, I'm trying to talk to her tomorrow. You saying, no, this is not where my mind is at. So you see something I don't see. So it's like, yeah, this ain't gonna work.
They were in. I think what grade were y'all in when I think we were in West Philly on Millick Street, and I picked up the phone, and the girl was talking about giving y'all head. What grade were y'all in?
You know I don't know. That had to be because I was in elementary school. Devon was in he was going to Beaver, so I don't know. Beaver. Right, so we was
okay. So elementary school, your brother, y'all only like 18 months, 2 years apart. Right. When I picked up that phone and heard that girl talking to y'all about giving y'all head, I almost had a heart attack and passed all the way out. Hey. I was like, girl. So you know, you're looking at it again from a parental point of view, from a mother. You're trying to keep your sons from not, you know, having all these children out of wedlock and all of this stuff. I got uncles that got 10 and 7 and 8 and 9 babies. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, look at Nick Cannon with all those babies. That's so immature of him. Like, what is going on with him? Is he getting ready to die or something? Like, why would you even do that?
I don't have an answer for that.
I believe something is mentally, when you have no self-control, something is going on with you. You're troubled about something that your ego, you got to prove that you're a man by going and getting all these women pregnant or by going and sleeping with all these men. I'm thoroughly convinced that when men are promiscuous, that there's some deep problem that they haven't dealt with.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
But will they? Yes, he does have some sort of medical illness.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he must be trying to leave a legacy because, you know, he comes from a wealthy family too. A lot of people don't know that about him. And maybe he's getting ready to die or something, and he's trying to just leave a legacy because it's really not setting a really good example. You having all these children outside the sanctity of marriage. And this is what I can't stand. I cannot stand when people 1 minute want to talk about God and then the next minute want to act like the devil. Okay? If you want to talk about, okay, 1 minute you reading your Bible and praying and quoting scriptures, and the next minute you having children out of wedlock. If you read your Bible, you will know that, you know, children are supposed to be in the confines of the sanctity of marriage because the mother and the father are the protectors of the children. So you're having these so-called bastard, illegitimate children. You're not marrying none of these women. So you're not honoring them. Because marriage is honorable. It brings honor. So you're not honoring these women. You're not really honoring the children. You know, I get so tired of people want to pick and choose what parts
of what it comes down to. The Bible only applies when they want to apply it. That's it. And then in some cases, it definitely gets misconstrued, or the words get twisted, or scriptures are being used to.
Yes, people take and be fruitful and multiply out of context. Absolutely, and this is the thing. To be fruitful and multiply had nothing to do with children. To be fruitful and multiply had to do with the vision that was given to them. They both were given the vision. But the man was given the instruction. So being fruitful and multiplying doesn't just apply to just having children. It has to do with really business, really kingdom business, really. But they take it, like she said, out of context and have all these children out of wedlock and then want to quote scriptures. So, like, we don't know what God you want to serve. Like, you see people all the time do it. If you're going to be in it, be in it 100%. Just don't play with it. No, don't straddle the fence about it. Because you would know that if you was a man of God, how important it is. Your leadership is so important that your mental should be a number one priority, not just for the woman. Because, like, when the relationship gets in trouble, it's always the women that go to therapy. Men don't want to be going to no therapy. They're the main ones need to be there, but the women be the ones going.
Because the men, one, they don't like being told what to do. Two, a lot of men will suppress an issue rather than deal with it. So with them going to therapy, they got to dig through a bunch of stuff. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them have to dig through a bunch of stuff since childhood.
We all do.
But they rather not. If it's at the bottom of the barrel, they rather just leave it at the bottom of the barrel and be done with it. I
But
made it this long, or I made it this
then
long.
now it's a chain reaction. Now you walking around angry. Majority of men are angry. When you are angry, okay, don't you know that anger is a form of mental illness? There's a root cause. You walking around angry, you don't even want to know why.
Some of them don't.
So you don't want to know why you beating up your girlfriend, you beating up your wife, you beating up your children, you kicking the dog, you throwing the cat up against the wall, and you don't want to know why.
What the cat do? Shit.
When you angry, ain't nobody got to do nothing because you don't never know.
No, you're right. But again, in those instances, it's about what happened at that moment. Like they're ticking time bomb. So
Right.
whatever happens, it's like, all right, well, here we go. The cat meowed too loud, so he got to get thrown up against the wall. The dog too happy, he got to get kicked. So it's always something, but it's never. Let me sit down and think what's wrong with me that I'm always on edge. Whereas though it does need to be that, but unfortunately, it's not.
I think I think a lot of men don't make the connection that a lot of things that's going on with them has to do a lot of times with your childhood, but it's also life experiences. You know, a lot of stressors. If you have a breakup in a relationship, that can affect your mental. It's a lot of things that
Oh
could
yeah.
cause your mental capacity to open up the door, like to other things. So all of those things need to be addressed. We can't continue to just keep having men run around all like with no awareness about themselves whatsoever. And if you try to tell them the truth, they run away from that too.
They run away from the things they can't deal with. Sometimes the truth is too much of a burden on them. They rather not, because for me to tell you the truth, you now have to deal with that.
But the thing is that they it's not like they don't know. They do know. When something is
Mhm.
wrong, you know it. You just don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, and now here this therapist come exploiting what I already know and giving me stuff I got to deal with me. I got to look in the mirror and say, hey, this is why I'm jacked up. This is why I'm always on edge. This is why I'm always mad. This is why I'm always angry. You, as a mechanic, now have to fix you. And you don't want to fix you because you've been doing this for 30, 40, 50 some odd years. It's become a habit,
But
a forcible habit.
but you're affecting people's lives. You know, this is what I'm saying. Like all these toxic relationships, and it's not just with your wife or with your girlfriend. You know, it's pretty much every person that you come in contact with is toxic. So you just spewing poison everywhere you go. So what is it going to take? I remember I was talking to a guy one time, and I said to him, I said, what does it take for men to get, help? He
Hmm.
said they have to hit rock bottom.
That is the absolute truth.
Well,
That is
some
the
people bottom,
absolute,
everybody bottom is not the same bottom, but good
you're
gracious alive.
absolutely right. It's not. But you once you hit it, you know you hit it.
And then what? Okay, now the man hit rock bottom, and then what? And I think that's pretty
It
pathetic, quite frankly, that you don't want to ask for help. You want to just keep taking your life in the wrong direction, taking everybody else in the wrong direction. You're walking around angry and stuff every day. You don't want to ask anybody for help. You're destroying your life and everybody's life you come in contact with. And how is that continuing this to be okay?
is not. But people often convince themselves that it is, knowing that it's not. Oh, I'm okay. All right, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna do that. And it's like in the meanwhile, you're struggling. Meanwhile, you know what you need to do, but it's difficult for you to do it because you built this habit up. It feels weird telling someone about something that happened in the past. Possibly, maybe because you lied. You lied about the situation to everyone because you're trying to protect your character or whatever moral code you have. But now you have to undo all of that. And that would be difficult for a person to do. Like you got to go to a therapist and then move to another state and start fresh. Once you start unleashing them aliens in your basement,
Or just the people, and I think the children. It's a little boy that I see quite often. I don't think he has a male figure in his life. He just wanders around. Pretty much every time I see him, he's like he's probably about 7 or 8 years old. He just wanders around like he just doesn't have anything to do, anything to occupy his time or his mind. We need men to get their mental together, let alone we're not even talking about their health. They don't even go to the doctor for their health. Like it's just beyond me. Like what I just want to know what y'all be thinking. Like you don't care if you die, if you just leave these
no
children,
one,
just abandon them.
nobody wants to be told.
Some I'm going to get some bread. Don't never come back. Don't care nothing about nobody.
I got an appointment tomorrow, and I just had one May 10th. I'm cool. I'm
Well,
alright.
you need to
It
communicate
ain't
with men that we need you healthy, physically and mentally. We don't need for the only thing to be working on you is your penis. We need other parts of you working besides just your penis. We know that works. We know that works just fine.
tone work too.
So we need your mental to be working properly. We need you physically to not, we need you to be disease free.
No, for me, it really is a thing of I'm getting older, need to be more consistent with a lot of stuff. And of course, going to the doctor was one of them. So let me go get this whole checkup. Although I know I'm fine, but you don't want nothing, like you said, you don't want nothing creeping upon you at any point in time. Ooh,
See, now this is just, what, granddad? My grandfather died of walking pneumonia, working sick every day until his body gave out. We needed him so bad to keep the family together. See, that's making me about to want to cry right there.
because
Cause we
that
need
is
we need granddad, we need dad and uncle and all of that. I think for the rest of this month, like we need to talk to if like your grandfather, your father, your uncle, your brother, your cousin, all the male people and men in your family. Y'all need to tell them, look, we need you. We need you to go to the doctor. We need you
take
to be
off.
in your right mind.
Hold on,
Let
let's
them
back up a
know
little bit.
how much you love
Let's
him. Like she said, we needed him so bad
let's
to keep the family
Yeah,
together.
let's back it up because most people, and not saying anything against her grandfather, but most men in that generation time frame, I think we're around the same age. I'm not sure. Not gonna go into that, but all they know is work. They know nothing else. There is no takeoff. There is no PTO. There is no let me go. There is no going to the doctor. All I know is work. I got to put food on the table. I got to make sure these bills are paid. I got to make sure my wife is happy. Got to make sure the kids have what they need and they don't go without. Taking days off is not an option. So we working, sick, anything else, and that's just been instilled. So here we go. I'm sick. I'm going to work. I got things I got to do. I got a paycheck I got to earn.
Said he would literally say, I ain't going to no doctor. We understand that generation don't trust doctors. We understand that, but see, that's being passed down. That's what I'm saying. We talk about this all the time. This generational stuff that's being passed down. Y'all talking about their wealth, and anybody around to pass on no wealth. So we know that you don't trust doctors. I don't trust doctors either. I don't, but I go to the doctor to get a diagnosis, and then we take it from there. Yes, we take it from there. And so, we understand that. We understand that generation don't trust the doctors and stuff because of things they did in past experimenting. They're still doing that stuff to this day. They are. But you have to get some type of care, at least get a checkup.
You pay for it, you might as well go ahead on and get it.
Had a conversation.
Go ahead on and do it.
With a friend of mine, I asked him, did he get his prostate checked? Because that's what most men die of, a prostate cancer. It burns me up when a man say, I ain't letting no man stick his finger up my butt. Y'all not having sex. You're just getting checked out. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And you and the doctor not having sex. He's sticking his finger up there for a purpose.
I get it.
Sticking his finger up there for pleasure, silly.
I get it, but I get both. I get the fact that yes, it has to be done, but I also understand I don't want no fingers in my butt.
Okay, it's not like Chester the molester trying to stick his finger up there. It's the doctor.
Chester.
Yes, like I hate when men say that. Ain't nobody sticking their finger. Okay, then when you die from prostate cancer, because you ain't let nobody check your damn prostate, you don't even know what it is and that's just where it's located. That's where God wanted to put it. That's where it's at. Now, if you could check stick your own finger up there, then since you think you know what you're doing. Get on my nerves with that mess. Like you're just gonna be in there getting it in with the doctor. Like you're gonna start moaning or something. He's checking you for a reason. Like for real. That's just how ridiculous it sounds. That's just how ridiculous.
Hey, yeah.
With PAP exams, you have no idea exactly.
You're right, because I don't know about the little open up, little scrape thing, and
I don't. Yeah, but this is the thing. I don't never even let the women. The women to me are more rough than the men. The men are more gentle. I always ask for a man to do mine. I don't let women do my pap smears. Nope. They too rough. They are too rough. I don't know what kind of flashbacks you're having, sister, but yeah. Can I get Dr. Jeff in here, please? Thank you. I do not let women do my pap smears. I do not. Don't. Shut up, Dante. Because we need men to understand that anger is not okay. To walk around being frustrated all the time is not okay. To be full of stress is not okay. To be engaging in domestic violence is not okay. To deal with your grief, any type of losses, any type of changes that you go through in your life causes you to be under some type of stress. All of this stuff has to be dealt with. We all have to deal with it. Women have to deal with it too. We can't just walk around, and not face and deal with if you moving, getting a new job.
But there's a huge difference between men and women in that aspect, because women always have. I'm not gonna say always, but the majority of the time, y'all got other girlfriends y'all can talk to. At the very least, y'all will definitely recognize. Okay, you know what? They ain't helping. Let me go to therapy. But for the most part, men don't have that. And if we do have,
that we have to be alive and for our children. That I have to do this for my children. I have to take care of myself, because 9 times out of 10, we don't have nobody we don't have a support system. We don't have anybody that, God forbid, something happened to us, who's going to take care of our children. So, like she said, try getting a pap smear, and try going and having them squish your breast in like a pancake in this machine. To check to see if you got breast cancer, and you have to put your breast in this machine and they squish it down like a pancake. But it's necessary. It's something that has to be done, because we're responsible, and we're the leaders of our home. Men and women, both are leaders, not just the man by himself. It's the man and the woman. They're both leaders together. They just have different roles. They're not equal. They just have different roles. They're very much equal in leadership. They just have different things that they do. And so we realize as women that we have to take care of ourselves because we're responsible for our children. And we want men to see themselves as leaders and understand that they are needed. Even if nobody never tells you that you're needed, how many women get told that they're appreciated and needed? Women are the most, especially black women, we're the most trampled on, don't get no credit, appreciation, talked about drug of all the cultures. But do that stop us from doing what it is what we're supposed to do? No. We still get up and we have to go and deal with them people on our jobs. We got to deal with people just like the men do. But we don't abdicate our position because we got too much ego and we got too much pride. It's time to put the ego and the pride aside and do what's necessary as a leader. That's what makes you a leader. When you do the things that you don't want to do, you do them anyway. And we need men to go to the doctor to get their prostate checked. We need men to go to the therapist because that's the number one killer of men is prostate cancer. We need you to stop looking at it as a sexual thing and look at it as a health thing. We need you to, we need the women to encourage the men to go to the doctor, to go talk to the therapist. Get some of this stuff off your chest.
Slowly but surely.
Right. Dante talked about that all the time. Mother's Day
all the time.
Outweigh Father's Day through. So
I mean, come on. It's 1,000 Mother's Day songs. What dad got? Papa was a Rolling Stone? Papa don't preach? We ain't got much. The sales for women are ridiculous. You got jewelry, you got cruises, and we get Harbor Freight, Home Depot, Lowe's, and some socks.
That's what Anaya was talking about that yesterday. And men get socks for Father's Day, for their birthday, and Christmas.
I have enough socks. I have enough ties.
I just bought you some socks for your birthday.
Granted, those are different. I actually like those socks, so that's Nike. Yeah.
And the big y'all get the big piece of chicken. Don't start with that big piece of chicken. Everybody go out for Father's Day and get some big pieces of chicken and give it to all the men. But I think we need to, really show the men that we appreciate them. That they appreciate it, except for just once a year. Give them that big piece of chicken.
I ain't mad at the big piece of chicken, especially now. You give me a big piece of chicken. I don't know. You might really like me. I don't know.
Cause honey, ain't no more wings. They done got rid of the wings, so we better go and move to the big piece of chicken. Cause ain't no more wings.
Oh.
What Cat Williams said? He didn't say it wasn't no more chickens.
Oh man, that brought back memories. That damn big piece of chicken. Oh, don't get that piece. That piece for your father.
I really believe the root of the issue is what it is. Men are not dealing with their issues mentally or physically. They're not dealing with it, and they're really breaking down. And we need strong men. We need you strong physically, because your wing gonna start working after a while. Your wing ain't gonna always work.
Wing,
you are more than your wing. You can't reduce yourself down to just that piece of meat. Like you are more than your piece of meat. You're more than that. So we need you to be more than just that. Well, what you want me to say, Dante?
I just, Mama, I love you. I really do. But sometimes I don't be ready. You are more than your wing. Okay. All right. Fellas, please just go on out there and do what needs to be done. It's not a bad thing. It's doing what you need to do for you. If you help you, other people can help you and you can help others, i.e. your family, your kids, people at your job. You will be whole. rather than carrying a whole bunch of stuff with you that you don't need to carry with you. You
Like the
carry
men
dead
that
weight.
go to the gym, the men that go to the gym that work out physically, have all the muscles and all of that stuff, do they go to the doctor?
I don't know. Every time I go, I see old people in there. I don't
I'm
know. I
saying
know
they
why y'all here.
working out, making sure they buff. They physically, physically in shape, but do they go to the doctor though? That's the whole thing. Do they go to the doctor? We need to, for Father's Day, we need to make men appointments for the prostate doctor. All the men have to go to the prostate doctor for Father's Day. That's the gift. Y'all don't want no more socks? Then go to the doctor then.
Yes, instead of getting a sock, take these fingers up your butt so we can check the prostate.
Hey, it's for a good cause. That's what leaders do. When you're a leader, you do what you have to do.
So
That's
not
what
only do I got your finger, I got to
leaders.
pay a copay to do it too.
And this, we're not talking about the women today, but when she was talking about her grandfather, that's what happened with my grandmother. She was a diabetic and she stumped her toe and would never go to the doctor. The toe turned black. And we kept saying, you need to go. She was soak it and soak it and soak it and soak it and soak it. It turned black. We was like, your toe is black. Not just the nail. The nail turned black. The toe was literally dying. Because when you're diabetic, you have poor circulation. So that's why diabetics can't really, when they get cut, it take a long time for them to heal because they have poor circulation. She would not go. By the time she finally went to the doctor, they cut half her foot off because gangrene had set in. So they cut half her foot off, and then they chopped it, I think, again just above the ankle, and then they had to cut it again just below the knee. So it's not just this, it's that generation that don't believe in going to doctors and stuff like that because of the experimentation, that the Caucasoids have done, on our people. But at the same time, you have to get some type of care. See, like I said, I go to the doctor just to get a diagnosis, and then I just pray and just take it from there. And most of the time, it's a lack of exercise, lack of vitamins, and just really eating the wrong foods, basically. Because food is really supposed to be treated like medicine. So you're not supposed to eat because we kind of become a slave to our taste buds. If something doesn't taste good, we don't want to eat any vegetables, Dante.
I had some spinach earlier today, so
Ooh.
it's a vegetable. It's foliage. I
Pie.
think it's foliage. It might be foliage, but that big piece of chicken, though, I'm definitely still gonna need that.
That big piece of chicken need to be baked now. We can't even fry that no more. Yeah, it needs to be baked.
Can we fry it in olive oil?
No, you need to drizzle some olive oil on the pan and put it in the oven. Put some seasonings on it, some herbs. Get some herbs and put it on there and slap that sucker in the oven. Tastes way better than fried.
It sounds too healthy. Go ahead on the oven.
Yeah, and I believe that too. I believe that a lot of these toxic relationships is because people are mentally. Eat your veggies, Dante. Because a lot of men are mental. They mental, and they don't know they mental. You could be bipolar, you could be schizophrenic, and you've never gone to the doctor and never gotten diagnosed. You're not taking any type of medication for it. On a daily basis, as I'm, just going my day-to-day life. I just saw two men yesterday that you could visibly, if somebody is walking down the street talking to themselves and looking all crazy. See, because what happens is you slowly lose your mind. Did y'all know you could lose your mind and not know that you've lost your mind? We can't keep taking this stuff for granted. And it's like, when you talked about the enabling, some of these women got to know something is not right.
But again, I think it just goes towards their that motherly nature sometimes kind of sort of kicks in. And it's like, well, I know what's best for them. And it's, let them be them or let me do this. And of course you try to overcompensate in some areas and you're actually doing more damage than you are good. Because that's definitely a thing as well.
I tell you, what is this picture?
Don't worry about that. It's a long story. I ain't gonna get to them.
I think I think that's why a lot of these relationships are not working. Because I kind of survey and take notes on a lot of these little different shows and stuff that's on, and you can literally see that a lot of out of these you look if you ever watched what is it called? I think it's called Marriage Boot Camp. And it's got it has Dr. Ish on there, and I'm trying to think of that judge lady, Dr. Judge Toyer, I think her name is. They do this, yeah, they do this one little exercise where they go and they get the childhood you, and they bring you out as a child, and you have to speak to your child. At your present, where you are in your present life, you got to tell that child what they're in for. And it's very effective. Like, out of all the exercises that they do, that's one of my favorite, because you kind of come face to face with that child that you've never dealt with. You've never dealt with those childhood issues, those traumas. Those things condition you. That's what conditions you to be attracted to certain people to be attracted to you. You all are being drawn to each other by these traumas, these invisible scars and these invisible wounds that you have. Even though they're invisible, they're still there. It really shapes your life in a way that you could not ever imagine. And so I think that is more pronounced for men, because they go year after year after year after year, and they never face this stuff, and they never deal with it, and then they trying to be in these relationships, and they can't, because that stuff eats away at you.
Right, and it just keeps getting suppressed, the more stuff gets piled on top, and it has nothing to do with the things that you didn't know were there.
Right.
Because a lot of that happens as well. It's like, I didn't know I was affected in this manner by this particular event. Whereas the women are more expressive. It's society states it's okay for a woman to cry, but a man better not. He better go in the bathroom, close the doors, lock the doors, do it in private. But when he come back out, he better stick his chest out, lift his head up, and do what needs to be done.
Ridiculous, though. Crying is a human thing. Like, women don't have the corner market on tears. It is a human thing. It don't have nothing to do with a man or you a man or a woman because I cry. That's the problem. You need a good cry. When you cry, that's a part of cleansing of your soul. I don't even think people realize how miraculous it is to be able to cry and get out an outlet of what it is that you're feeling, that you can just be filled up so much that what you're feeling can literally come out of you as a tear. I don't think people realize how miraculous that is, and somebody gonna steal that from you by making us stupid. Like, I hate when people say stupid stuff. That is dumb. You're a man and you can cry. It doesn't mean that you're any less of a man. It means you're human. What is going on? Right, releases toxins in the body. You know how the old people used to say, them babies be crying. The more they cry, the less they piss. Oh, get a good cry.
What?
Don't get a good cry. Go and get a good cry. I think we need to really just redefine this, like a whole lot of stuff. People just be attaching their own opinions, You know, that's why men walking around so angry, beating up everybody, stabbing everybody up.
No, that's right.
They are killing more babies than ever. I ain't never seen so many babies. They're killing more because they can't even stand to hear a baby cry. You lack patience. When you have a child, you have to have patience. You lack patience, compassion. You lack empathy. You know what I'm saying? You can't even stand to hear a child cry. You rather throw the child up against the wall. You think that's going to make the baby stop crying?
Yeah.
Look how irrational that is.
You going to jail.
And not only that, is anytime you have an emotion all the way to the extreme, that means you're mentally imbalanced. You're unstable. You got to be aware. Like, people don't spend enough time with themselves to get to know who they are. So when they have a behavior that is too far to the left or to the right, they don't even recognize it. Anger is looked at as manly, and that's the only emotion that they allow. That is the only emotion that they allow. I don't know about it. It's looked at as manly, because not to me.
Mean, for the most part, she's absolutely right. It is.
I know that it's the only emotion that Black men are allowed to express, but it's not manly. Anger is the emotion of the devil. Yes. So no. Go ahead, Dante. I think I froze.
Yeah, you did freeze.
Yeah, so what you doing? But yeah, no, we have to, you know, that's why we always redefine these words when we come on here and talk. We need to redefine a whole lot of things.
No, I'm gonna close this out. We got some time. One, when it comes down to men and emotions, again, that's no reason why you can't cry. Don't be out here whining and just doing everything all excessive. That's different.
Don't be whining.
If you're going, yeah, don't be whining. That's completely different. But it's okay to cry. It's okay to have a shoulder to cry on. It's okay to express yourself with the things that you're going through. And I would even encourage for men to get in groups and do that. Now, again, when I say get in groups, I'm not talking about bash women. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying point out everything they did wrong and come down them on it. No, this is a cleansing moment.
Right.
Dig deep within you. Get around people that you trust. That's not gonna egg your business out there, and just have a vent session. Get it out.
Right.
Be around people who have enough maturity and wisdom to be like, "Oh, hey, dog, I've been there too. Here's what got me through. Here's what I did. Here's a book I read to help. Hopefully, this will help you. Pass that on. But don't, such and such weak here over here crying. No, those are people you need not be around. There's nothing wrong with therapy. Therapy is good. In fact, I would say take it a step further and go see a behavioral specialist, because they're going to be like, well, why did you feel this way about such and such and such?
Right.
They're going to dig a little deeper to get whatever you need out. Anger is not good. Of course, yes, there's a time and there's a place for everything. But you sitting out here beating on defensive people, cursing defenseless people out, that ain't what it is. Mental health is as important as physical health. I myself have scheduled a series of different appointments. I need to make a dental appointment, but there's nothing wrong with someone saying, hey, you need to fix this about you so you can live longer. You can live a more fuller life. You carrying this stress, you out here at 35 looking like you 48. Exactly. Hairline receding and everything else. No, that stress that you're holding on the inside of you is killing you. That stress you're holding on is deteriorating you from the inside. Yes, health is wealth. You need to take care of self so you can still be here. Especially if you have kids.
Right.
Them kids are looking at you and they're looking at what you're doing and they're going to emulate that. Yeah. My dad did it, my granddaddy did it, so I'm gonna do it. because
Right.
if they see a grown up doing it, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people I've talked to. Man, my dad never really, they never really told me how he felt about this, about that. No, express yourself. As an adult, you are free capable of
Yourself
doing
and
yourself. Express yourself. Tell them kids that you love them. Give them kids hugs. Let them know that you care. Let them know that you care.
hug them churn.
Yeah, hug your children.
Hug them
Cause
churn.
ain't nothing worse than my daddy never give me hugs. Now you don't know how to give hugs. Oh, they're looking all awkward and weird. And you try to show affection. No, no. Start with yourself. Schedule them appointments. Hear
Yes.
what they have to say. For me personally, anytime they try to put me on some type of drug, I research it. Again, this is just me. I'm not giving nobody no medical advice. I'll research what you're trying to put me on, and I will find some sort of tea, herb, something to combat that. Because ain't nothing worse than I got to take a pill for this, and the side effects is worse than what I'm taking it for. We ain't doing that. But again, that's me.
Right.
Start with that. Again, start with your mental. All that you holding on to since you was in third and fourth grade, no,
Yeah.
let that go.
Well,
Let that
gotta
go. You gotta let it go by not forgetting about it, but you gotta literally dig it up and get it out.
yeah.
Deal with what you're supposed to deal with. Don't keep suppressing it because you're gonna keep suppressing it. Like I said, you're gonna be stressed out. Your hairline gonna start receding. Now you're gonna wear hats for the rest of your life. No, we ain't doing that. Get yourself together.
Exactly. Women, tell the men in your life how important they are and how you need them to be here. I thought that was awesome when Bobby Brown's wife looked at him and said, we want you to be here, so you got to take care of yourself. Just tell
Right.
them, we want you to be here. You got to take care of yourself. You guys, thank you guys for showing up and participating. Like and share. The next time I see y'all, I will be a year older. I have a birthday coming up on Thursday. June 16th is my birthday. So I'll see you guys next Sunday. Thank you so much.